chances are that at work, one of your biggest problems is handling the most basic behaviors of people, such as impulsive decision-making, tunnel vision, and resistance to change. And that's just you. My guess is you are feeling the pressure. Who wouldn't be? You've already seen other people snap and totally lose it. So now you're looking for a way to best tame those primitive knee-jerk reactions, anxieties, and outbursts, and help others do the same. Perhaps you've already read a ton of books on the latest trends and how to get the best out of everyone, including yourself. You've probably endured a massive training, and possibly you've been tested under a multitude of psychometric models, from Myers-Briggs to StrengthsFinder, and occasionally have consulted the horoscope in Elle magazine. Yet after all the new information and insights you've gained, and despite your best intentions, you still have no foolproof understanding of why people sometimes behave like real jerks. Some people are continually frustrated by the crazy antics of those they work with. They wake up every morning to spend another day confused, wondering, why the hell did they do that? Sooner or later it gets to be too much, and they themselves tip over the edge, hit the roof, flip their lids, or lose it in some way. You can only keep a tight lid on this kind of frustration for so long, when inside you are steaming like a volcano ready to erupt. You may recognize that it is much better to keep your cool and hold it in check all those erratic, spur-of-the-moment behaviors that put your work relationships and career, as well as your own and your family's happiness, at risk. But right now you realize that when things get tricky, you are not as prepared as you would like to be to help yourself and the others around you. You are not alone. There isn't a person alive who doesn't wonder how to tame our instinctive reactions to the maddening situations that arise every single day. This weighs on all our minds. Human behavior is the underlying hot topic wherever in the world you go. Most water cooler chats eventually come down to, why the f*** did she say that? What the hell should I do about him? And who hired these f***ing losers anyway? The behaviors of your coworkers can be erratic, irritating, aggressive, defensive, fearful, power-hungry, petty, depressed, disengaged, and sometimes just plain dumb and screwed up. And no amount of management training, mentorship, or zip-wire, death-slide team-building exercises so far have helped you to understand why people, including yourself, sometimes act, and act up, like this. Certainly none of it helps you actually do something about it today. Can that change? Fortunately, the answer is yes, it can. But doing so will take knowing why we all behave as we do. What is the root cause? This knowledge is the key to managing the stickiest situations more effectively. So let's look at the real issue here. 100,000 years ago, our human ancestors were part of a scarce and scattered migrant population of maybe only 2,000 mating couples. It was a lonelier, harsher, and more deadly world than you and I most likely live in today. We humans back then were more the hunted than the hunter. Fast forward to today, when there are 7 billion of us on the planet together, all part of a vast and complex global network. Yet one thing has remained the same all these millennia later. The basis of our behavior boils down to the inherited primitive survival instincts that kept our ancestors alive thousands of years ago. Oh, and that's not the end of the story. Our primitive instincts stretch back further still, as far as 500 million years ago, even before our reptilian ancestors to those earlier organisms that helped to found our DNA and the thinking processes upon which our modern behavior is built. Our evolutionary chain begins way before the emergence of fish, moves up through reptiles, and on to ground-dwelling mammals and primates. It ends up with us modern humans sitting in offices, meeting with one another to talk about our organizational plans, bottom lines, and initiatives for market domination, or to address the all-important question of what we should all have for lunch, sushi or pizza. Our human brain has developed in a modular way over hundreds of thousands of years. With each new